let's unpack this. Imagine getting a report card. You open it up and you see the lowest score you've had in 20 years. Now imagine that report card doesn't belong to a single student. It belongs to an entire country.
That is a sobering image. But unfortunately, based on the data we have on the table today, it's not hypothetical. It is the reality facing Thailand.
Right. We are talking about the state of Thai education. And look, I know standardized testing isn't everything. We can debate PISA all day. But when you hit a 20-year low, that is a flashing red light on the dashboard, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And what we're looking at in today's deep dive isn't just about numbers. We have a stack of sources here, analyses from the Thai Education Partnership, or TP, and some really surprising information on a national project.
So we're looking at a system in crisis.
We are, but we are also looking at a potential roadmap out of it.
It's the context that really gets me, and I want to start there. I mean, we are living in the era of AI. Everything is moving at warp speed, and yet the source material suggests Thai education is moving in reverse.
Exactly. The tension is palpable. You have a world demanding adaptability, critical thinking, and then you have a school system that, according to these reports, is struggling. But, and here's where it gets fascinating, we aren't just here to, admire the problem.
No, we love a solution here.
Yeah.
And we have two of them today that seem totally unrelated at first glance.
They really do.
One is structural.
Yeah.
Very political, heavy on policy. And the other is, well, it's botanical.
It is. It's a solution rooted literally in the ground. And the argument these sources make is that you actually need both. You need the political shakeup to allow the botanical solution to breathe.
So a crisis, a political revolution, and a treasure map involving plants. Let's dive in. We have to start with the anatomy of the crisis. The sources lead with this headline. PISA scores lowest in 20 years.
We need to pause on what that actually signifies, because PISA gets thrown around a lot.
That's a buzzword.
It is. PISA measures how well 15-year-olds can use their knowledge to solve real-life problems. It's not just memorizing facts.
Right, it's not asking what year was this battle. It's asking, here is a complex set of data. What can you conclude from it?
Precisely. It tests scientific literacy, reading, math, all in practical contexts. So, hitting a 20-year low suggests that despite all the tech of the last 2 decades, student achievement in using information is regressing.
That is scary. It's like running on a treadmill that's going backwards. But the sources point out something else that I think is crucial. It's not just about scores. There's a human cost.
Yes. The reports explicitly mention a severe crisis in student mental health. And if you connect the dots, it makes sense.
How so?
Well, you have a system that is failing to equip students, yet presumably ramping up pressure to perform, all while using outdated methods. That is a recipe for anxiety.
It's a disconnect. The students are living in 2024, but the school system is operating like it's 1990. The source actually diagnoses the root cause. It uses 2 very specific words, centralized and rigid.
Centralized and rigid. Think about that in the context of the modern world. We are talking about a top-down management style where all the decisions are made far away from the classroom.
So you have a school in a fishing village in the south and a school in the mountains of the north.
And they're being told to march to the exact same drumbeat.
Wow.
Exactly. And the source argues that this rigidity is the bottleneck. How can you prepare a child for an AI-driven, fluid world if the system educating them is stuck?
You can't. It's like trying to run the latest software on a computer from the 90s. It just crashes. And the students are the ones caught in that crash.
Precisely. And this leads us directly to the first major solution proposed in the material from the Thai Education Partnership, or TTEP.
They don't mince words, do they? I was reading their analysis, and they frame this not as a nice to have, but as an emergency measure.
Not at all. They state that educational decentralization is no longer just an option. They call it the condition for survival for Thai children.
Condition for survival. That is incredibly strong language. It's not, it would be improved by this. It's do this or we don't make it.
It highlights the urgency. Decentralization, in this context, implies breaking that center. It means moving power and decision-making authority away from the central ministry.
Giving it to the local areas.
To schools, to communities that actually know what their students need.
So, practically speaking, this means the local school board gets to decide where the money goes.
Yes. It involves budget, personnel, and curriculum.
Yeah.
It allows a school to say, we don't need X, we need Y, because our community focuses on agriculture, or whatever it may be.
But here is the catch. And the sources pose this as a huge question mark. Will the new government actually dare to do it?
That is the political challenge. Restructuring a massive bureaucracy is, well, it's difficult. It's risky. You are taking power away from a central entity.
And the stakes are high if they don't.
The source makes it very clear. If this structural change doesn't happen, the future of Thai children will retreat even further.
So we're at a fork in the road. That's the structural side. But this is where the deep dive takes that sharp turn we promised.
This is the part that I found most intriguing. Because usually when we talk about education reform, the conversation stays in the boardroom.
Right. Budgets and laws. But here, the sources introduce what they call a single way out. And it's not a new law. It's the Plant Genetic Conservation Project.
Specifically, the project under the Royal Initiative, often referred to by the Thai acronym TANTA.
The source calls this a treasure map that many people have overlooked.
Yeah.
I love that imagery. A hidden map in plain sight.
It is a powerful metaphor. The source argues that while everyone is looking for high-tech solutions, there is this existing framework, the school botanical garden, that is actually the advanced and modern solution we need.
Hold on, though. I have to play the skeptic here. When I hear school botanical garden, I think of, a small patch of flowers near the flagpole. It's nice. It's pretty. But the source describes this as the solution the world is looking for. That feels like a massive leap.
It does. And that is the crucial question. How do you get from a garden to saving the education system? We have to look at the function of this project. It's not about landscaping. It describes the project as having tools to provide hands-on experience. The goal here isn't just growing plants, it's creating mini scientists.
Okay. Mini scientists. So we're back to the PISA problem. PISA measures scientific thinking.
Exactly. If you want to fix PISA scores, you don't do it by lecturing more from a book. You do it by having students observe, hypothesize, experiment. Where's the best place to do that? A living ecosystem right in the school.
So instead of reading about photosynthesis in a textbook, you were out there measuring carbon capture in real time.
Right. The source calls it a mechanism to build scientific skills from the ground up. You are looking at genetic variations, soil composition, real taxonomy.
And this is where the advanced and modern claim comes in. It sounds contradictory. Gardening is ancient, but using it as a data-driven lab, that's modern.
It changes the role of the student from a passive listener to an active researcher. That addresses the rigid system problem. In a rigid system, you sit and listen. Here, you go out and discover.
And I imagine it addresses the mental health aspect too, getting kids out of the classroom, connecting with nature.
Absolutely. It gives them agency. But the source doesn't stop at education. It says this project is also the solution for almost everything else.
It really does. It lists a whole set of global challenges. Clean air, reducing global warming, carbon reduction, restoring the ecosystem.
It claims this project is the single way out. That is a massive endorsement. It's positioning the school not just as a place to learn, but as a place that actively saves the world.
Which is a brilliant educational strategy if you think about it. Students today, they're aware of climate change. They are anxious about it.
They are. Climate anxiety is a real thing for this generation.
So giving them a hands-on role in solving it, it empowers them. It gives learning a purpose beyond just passing a test.
Exactly. I am learning biology so I can help my community breathe cleaner air. That is a powerful motivator.
So the kids are mini scientists fighting global warming. But there's another layer. We talked about decentralization earlier. How does this plant project fit with the political side of things?
No, the source links them directly, and the link is the budget. It mentions sustainable, massive budgets directed toward local administrative organizations or a portor.
Oh, I see. So this is the mechanism for decentralization.
Precisely. You can't just say, we are decentralized. You need to flow resources to the local level. This project acts as a vehicle for that.
So the budget goes to the local organizations to support these school gardens.
Exactly. It connects the school to the community. And the source throws out another term here that I think we need to define: GI innovation.
Yes. GI, geographical indication. Usually when I hear that, I think of fancy food, like champagne can only come from Champagne, France.
Correct. It means a product is unique to a specific place because of the soil, the climate, the local wisdom.
So how does a school garden create GI products?
Think about The mini scientists. They are researching local plants. They are preserving the genetic heritage of their village. They might discover that a specific local herb has unique medicinal properties.
Or a fruit has a specific taste profile that doesn't exist anywhere else.
Exactly. And that discovery can become a product that leads to innovation that is unique to that community. It's finding that treasure the source mentioned.
That is fascinating. So the school becomes an R&D lab for the local economy.
Yes, it's local innovation that the world is looking for. So you see how it all ties together. Decentralization allows the budget to flow locally. The project uses that budget. The school uses the project to create mini scientists fixing the PISA crisis. And the result is innovation and a green environment.
It's a complete ecosystem.
Yeah.
Education, politics, environment, and economy. It's incredibly holistic.
It is, and it counters that feeling of retreating we talked about at the beginning. This is a forward-looking vision.
Speaking of vision, the source gives us a specific timeline. It's not some vague in the future. It says Heroes 2026.
Heroes 2026. And the slogan is evocative, clean breath of life.
Clean breath of life. It sounds like a movie title, but it's a national goal.
It frames the students as the heroes. We started this conversation with students as victims of a failing system of mental health crises. The vision for 2026 flips the script.
They become the agents of change. They're the ones providing the clean breath for the country.
And that psychological shift is just as important as the PISA scores. If you tell a generation they are failing, they believe it. If you tell them they're the heroes who are going to fix the air through science, well, that changes everything.
It really does. But we have to remember the warning in the source.
The condition for survival.
Right. This whole beautiful ecosystem relies on that first step.
Yes. The vision of 2026, the clean air, the mini scientists, it relies on the government daring to restructure, the decentralization. Without breaking that centralized and rigid bottleneck, the budget doesn't flow, the schools don't get the flexibility, and the map remains hidden.
So, the treasure map is there. We know where X marks the spot. But we need permission to start digging.
That is the crux of the argument. The solutions exist. The question is purely political will.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? As a listener, maybe you're a parent, or maybe you're just someone who breathes air. This affects you.
It affects the workforce, the economy, and literally the air quality. It is all connected.
We've covered a lot of ground today. Let's just recap quickly.
Sure, we started with the crisis. PISA scores at a 20-year low. We identified the culprit, a centralized, rigid system.
Then we looked at the structural solution, decentralization, moving power and budget to the local level as a condition for survival.
And finally, the hidden treasure, the Plant Genetic Conservation Project. Using school gardens as learning centers to create mini scientists, boost local economies, and address global warming.
All leading to the goal of Heroes 2026, clean breath of life.
It's a compelling narrative. From crisis to green innovation.
It really is. Usually when we talk about education reform, we talk about buying more computers. It is incredibly refreshing to hear a perspective that says, no, the answer is outside.
It challenges our assumptions about what modern education looks like. We think modern means digital. The source suggests modern means sustainable and locally rooted.
Which, in a world facing a climate crisis, might be the most modern approach of all. And that leads me to a final thought for you listening right now. If the tools to fix a national crisis like education are hidden literally in our own backyards, in these botanical gardens, what other solutions are we walking past every day? What other local resources are we ignoring because we're just waiting for a command from the center?
That is the question. The solutions might be closer than we think.
Something to chew on. Or maybe something to plant. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
A pleasure as always.
Catch you next time.